Hi everybody and welcome back. Excuse the no makeup look. I've got an infection in my eye and it's absolutely killing me. So no makeup at all. What today's vlog is about saving money and food waste. So they're always popular topics, especially this time of year. So New Year's Day we had lamb dinner basically. So first things first is I got a 1.4 kilo joint of lamb. It was a leg of lamb and I cooked it in the slow cooker. I will link how I cook my lamb wherever you're watching this. Once it was cooked, we carved it off the bone and then we had basically dinner. So that was the meal number one, 2 plates of food. And then sort of over the next few days, I started using up the lamb leftovers. So meal number 2 is like a Moroccan lamb sharing platter thing. Honestly, it's 5 minutes this meal, but it looks amazing and it tastes amazing. So that is coming up as this video goes along. Then meal number 3 was lamb Rogan Josh, which is one of my favourites. And again, I put that in the slow cooker, and how I did that is in this video. Okay, and it's an old recipe, the Rogan Josh one, so wherever you're watching it I will link it so you can like screenshot the recipe card from my website. Now I have made a couple of mistakes in these videos, and one of them is something I need to learn to do, which is when I come to plate the food up, instead of just taking a picture of it and getting it in my belly quickly, it is actually taking you through it. I'm terrible at it. It's just, you know, this is a new format for me on YouTube. So it's something I need to learn to do, if you like. So I will get better at it, I promise you. But yeah, instead of just taking a picture. So there are pictures of the finished meals, but I need to just take you through it and remember to do it. So bear with me, it will get better. But so what we've actually now done is I've got 1 leg of lamb, which was on half price for £7.42. I've created 3 different meals. So that was 6 plates of food. So that is a total money spinner. So please watch the videos coming up. If you like it, please don't forget to give it the thumbs up. And if you, if you enjoy this kind of content, then please subscribe to my channel. And as always, don't forget to set your notifications because my times are still all over the place. I'm sorry. I'll get better at it eventually, I promise. So that is it. These are the videos coming up and I really, really hope you enjoy them. Any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments section below and I will get back to you. Enjoy. Bye. Okay, so here we go. Here's my leftover lamb. And what I'm doing is basically just looking for the fatty grisly bits, and any of those I have taken off. Roughly chop it into sort of thinnish slices as I am doing here, because that way it will heat up quicker so you're not sort of, wasting time. As you can see, there was a grisly bit there, so I've just put that to one side. Yeah, but try and keep it into smallish chunks. That will speed up the reheating process. So a large frying pan sprayed with oil, and this is the spice I'm using, which was Ras El Hanout, or ever how you say it, which was from Spice and Tice. I will link it below. So in the pan, pop the lamb into it and keep the heat very, very low because I want to heat this through gently. So let it just heat gently. Keep it moving every now and again. Don't let it catch or burn on the bottom of the pan, not yet anyway. What we're trying to do is reheat it through. Once it's heated, add some of the Ras El Hanout spice to it and make sure it covers all of the lamb. You can see now I'm starting to turn the heat up because what I want to do is get the lamb to have some crispy edges to it. Just make sure the lamb is heated through and make sure there's enough spice on. As you can see, I didn't think it was spicy enough, so I've added some more. I've kept it moving and just keep it crispy. Then for the mint yogurt sauce, I've got fat-free yogurt and a dash of mint and just mix it together. It was actually Greek yogurt I used, 0%, so but use fat-free yogurt if you've got that. And here we are is the finished dish. I just served it with some salad and some Weight Watchers wraps. Here we are, ready to do the lamb Rogan Josh. This will be the final meal using up the leftover lamb. Some of that is quite fatty, so I'm going to take off all of the fat on here, and that's going to really be the first point, so I need to remove all this fat. Now it's cold, it's quite easier to do as well, so that's a bonus. But first things first, now this is a step you're either going to do or not do. It's going to be entirely up to you. And this is me sort of softening down my onions, but what I want to do today is make it really, really quick. So I'm using this Briefton's chopper, which I use all the time in a lot of my recipes. It just makes chopping so much easier, as you can see. But the great thing about it is that it dices all of your bits into the same size, so they cook quicker. And with the curry, again, if you've got time, great. If you haven't, then don't sweat it. You know, if you soften down your onions, it takes the onion from like a very raw, powerful taste down to a very sweet taste, if you like. So it sweetens the onion and it takes that like harshness out of it. So there is my chopped onions. What I've done is I've sprayed this frying pan here with this oil here, which is the one I use all the time, which is the Tesco rapeseed one, which is 5 sprays for half a tin, I believe. The pan is on a really, really low heat. Let me see if I can move this so you can see it better. Sorry, ignore all this and I'm coming to that in a minute, don't worry about that. So the pan is on a really, really low heat, and what we're going to do is we're going to just really soften down these onions, and it will take time. You know, it'll take, I don't know, 10 minutes or so to do that. So that is always, if you're going to soften onions for a curry, that is always my top tip. Get them cut and get them on straight away. What you want is not that high sizzle. The pan's obviously got too hot, so just take it off, let it cool down. And the reason for that is I don't want the onions burning. I just want them cooking nice and gently on a very soft, low heat. So they become really sort of thick and jammy. That's what you're looking for. So I'm going to let that pan cool slightly, and then I'm going to put it back on that low heat. And whilst that is cooking, I'm going to start adding all of these things into the slow cooker, because I'm doing this in the slow cooker. Now, remember, this is already cooked, this lamb, so it only needs reheating. So if you want to do this and whack it all in that frying pan, then please do so. That is really, you know, another option and an easy way of doing it. So I'm going to let those cook, and I'm going to start with this, and I'll come back once I've got a little bit further down the road, and I will show you what I've done. Here we go. There is the lamb I have. That was the fatty bits that I took out. Now, if you're not following particularly a diet like Slimming World or anything, you might just want to add them in, because the fat is where the flavour is. So it's up to you. They are not getting added to mine. You know, if you want to, that's entirely up to you. So I'm going to put them out of the way. Now, on the recipe I created for this, it actually asks for 500 grams of diced lamb, uncooked lamb, because this is an old recipe of mine, but I'm using it to use leftovers. Now, there is not 500 grams of lamb here. There's probably about 300, if that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this in here, but I am also going to bulk it out. So I might add some spinach to it. I might add some mushrooms to it. You know, I think I will add some other bits to it just to bulk it out, to be quite honest. Let me just turn that back around, sorry. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be adding more to this. And then we've got a tin of chopped tomatoes. And again, if you're only making, this makes 4 portions. If you're making 2, then just obviously, you know, just half the quantity of liquid basically. And that liquid will be your tomatoes. So tinned tomatoes have gone in, and then what we're going to do is start with all of the spices basically. So I'm using lazy garlic, and I want 2 teaspoons of lazy garlic. Now when you use this, try not to get the liquid in, the vinegar that it's suspended in. Just try and drain it slightly on the side of the jar. So there's 2 of those gone in. Excuse my voice, it's starting now to go. And then they're all over. And then I've got some ground coriander, which has never been opened. Excellent. And I want a teaspoon of that. And as you can see, these don't go in. I don't know what it is with my teaspoon measures. So I'm going to do it over the board, because the day I'm having, no doubt it will go everywhere. So a teaspoon of ground coriander. And then we are looking at cumin. Now, cumin is a one that Graham isn't overly keen on, so I have to try and watch this. And a lot of the Slimming World recipes are very heavy on cumin. So I tend to just throttle it back a little bit. There is, you know, you can always add more of these spices towards the end of any dish. You know, taste it halfway through and see how you feel about it. But for me, I need to watch the cumin on any of my dishes. And then I've got some gram masala. And again, we want a tablespoon of that. And mild chili powder. Now, if you don't like chili, a lot of people don't, then just leave it out. That is the best option. And as you can see, it's stuck in the bottom of the jar. Brilliant. So again, just leave it out if you don't like it. I really like mine punchy. Okay, I love punchy food. I think it works really, really well, but that's just me. And then we are going turmeric or whatever how you pronounce it. This is half a teaspoon. So there's about half a teaspoon there. You'll know I don't measure things exactly. If you want to, then that's absolutely fine. Then we've got half a vegetable stock pot. So just half of that's going to go in there. The other half you can freeze, or you can make it up into a stock or use it somewhere else. Now, what it also asks for is ginger, half an inch of ginger. Now, I always keep my ginger in the freezer. So it goes in a Ziploc bag and it stays in the freezer and it lasts ages. But the cool thing about doing that is when you come to sort of grate it, it grates so much, oh, nearly grated my fingers. It grates so much easier, says she, from frozen. You can actually really get, you know, a lot more out of it, and it won't go to waste. So again, if you have ginger and you've bought it, it's an expensive food item, keep it in the freezer, okay? So there you go. That's how easy that was, into the slow cooker. Now, here's the thing I'm going to just talk about when people say, oh, I don't like hot spicy food, okay? Now, in this recipe, things like garlic will add heat and punch to a dish. So if you're not overly keen on spicy food, throttle that one back, okay? Just add a tiny little bit in. We've talked about chili. The other one is ginger. Ginger will add a wow punch to any dish you add it to. So if you're not keen on hot spicy foods, use a little bit of ground ginger from, you know, like a spice jar, that kind of thing. Use that. Now, as I've said, I like mine punchy, so I'm going to add a little bit more of that to that, and that will be me done. So that is all of the ingredients there, apart from the onions that are softened down. These are nice and jammy now, so I'm going to add those to here. There's a red onion from the last one, but never mind. I'm just doing all the cooking today. Right, I'll get the rest of them out later. So that is it. And as you will see, this is my little slow cooker today. I think it's 1.5 litre in here, so it's not overly too big. It's just a little baby one. If you were using raw lamb that hadn't been cooked, that wants to be on for probably about 7 hours. You can use chicken instead if you want chicken Rogan Josh. But because this is cooked and everything else is cooked, like I softened down the onions because they're the things that take the longest to cook, this is probably going to go on for about 4 or 5 hours maximum, because obviously the lamb is already cooked. It just needs reheating. I've spent the time softening the onions down. So all of those things reduce the cooking time. So basically that is it. That is all you need to do. And this is going to be my tea tonight. So once I plate it up, I will show you how that looks. Okay, here is the lamb curry finished, and as you can see, it's lovely and thick. It smells absolutely amazing. So all I'm going to do now is I am just going to leave this slow cooker pot, because this is a pot one, it's not my aluminium one. I'm just going to leave it here. I'm just going to let it cool slightly before I add the yogurt. And the reason for that is sometimes if you add fat-free yogurt into a piping hot dish, it will curdle because there obviously isn't enough fat content in the yogurt. So if this is kind of like a top tip, it's still boiling hot, the pot anyway. So all I'm going to do is just gently stir it around, try and release some of the heat from it, and then I will stir the yogurt in afterwards. What I'm doing is, Graham has made some flatbreads here. The recipe for this is on my website. Wherever you're watching it, I will link it. And then in this pan here, we've just got like a ping rice. and Graham's added some spring onions to it, so we'll just reheat and fry that rather than use a microwave basically. So that is what is going to be for tea. So it is the lamb Rogan Josh, some flatbreads with some rice, and that is it. So there you go. I will post a picture of the finished meal at the end of the video.